There is now no doubt that Israel is committing a genocide in Gaza, the intentional destruction of the Palestinians in Gaza in part. The deaths now number around 680,000, according to a new study. It is time, I think, for media and social media users to dispense with the official number of people killed by direct military operations, around 60,000 so far, when we talk of deaths in Gaza. It paints an entirely misleading figure, as horrific as it is. It disguises the genocide that is occurring. A recent study has reckoned the true number of civilian casualties when accounting for indirect deaths from hunger, disease and the collapse of Gaza's health system as perhaps in excess of 680,000 Palestinians killed since October 2023. The number of 680,000 fits with ratios previously used for working out the ratio of direct and indirect death in armed conflict. It makes sense. Think of the 42 MPs who serve in this chamber. We all range in age, health and many other factors. Imagine that all our homes, hospitals and much of our family are killed, our economy destroyed, our farms, our stock animals, everything destroyed, and then aid largely denied. Who of us would be alive after 2 years? Maybe the younger, the stronger, those not on medication, those not requiring treatment. Who would be dead? The older, the sicker, many of our number. Some of us would live and some of us would die. That is how it has been in Gaza. It is time to stop talking about 60,000 dead, as horrific as it is. The true horror must be spoken of. Of course, Israel calls the genocide charge absurd and says that if they were committing genocide, they would have killed far more and in a more systematic way. But Israel, of course, must maintain plausible deniability, and that perhaps explains why the large-scale killing and destruction is being carried out in the way that it is, in the guise of the destruction of Hamas, and has been targeted on the Palestinians in Gaza, not in Israel proper or in the West Bank. But more importantly, the killing actually is systematic and industrial. Of course, the Genocide Convention doesn't require killing in a particular way, but it is hard to conceive of a more systematic and industrial way to kill a group in part than to engage in the complete destruction of a society in the way that has happened in Gaza. The homes, the hospitals, the schools, the reproductive health facilities, the mosques, the community halls, it goes on. As a young law student, I learn about the crime of genocide and the important obligations of states to prevent it. We learned that states must do all they reasonably can to prevent and punish genocide. Any state who knows has that obligation. Any state who can plausibly make a difference must act. At that time, the reality of recent genocides in the former Yugoslavia and Rwanda was a backdrop to those studies. They took place at a time of enthusiasm for an international rule of law, especially with respect to serious international crimes, a very different time to now. This morning, the United Nations Independent International Commission of Inquiry on the Occupied Palestinian Territory, including East Jerusalem and Israel, found Israel is carrying out 4 genocidal acts defined under the 1948 Genocide Convention. They are killing, they are causing serious bodily and mental harm, they are deliberately inflicting conditions of life calculated to destroy Palestinians and imposing measures intended to prevent births. This important report reiterated that the crime of genocide involves universal and immediate obligations. Those obligations exist on all states who have the capacity to influence events. That undoubtedly includes Australia. It undoubtedly includes the group of like-minded countries that Australia often acts in concert with. It is time to impose trade and other sanctions on Israel. It is time to reconsider our diplomatic relationship with Israel. It is time to ban Australians from serving in the IDF. It is time to comply with the Genocide Convention and the highest norms of the international legal system. These are not political demands. They are core legal obligations on a member state of the United Nations. It is time.